Hello and welcome to your English news broadcast live on ERi-TV. It's exactly 10:30 p.m. on Eritrea's local time from our headquarters at Asmara with your domestic and international news in brief. I'm Zahra Badouri. But first we'll begin with your major headlines for this broadcast. Resolve to reinforce contribution in development programs. Strengthening teaching and learning process. The AIEA and Iran reach agreement to avert nuclear deal crisis. And finally, drone attack hits near U.S. forces stationed at Erbil Airport in northern Iraq. Welcome to your domestic in brief. At a meeting they conducted with Ambassador Isa Ahmed Isa, Eritrean ambassador to Sudan, on 10th September, members of the National Union of Eritrean Women and PFDJ in Khartoum expressed readiness to reinforce contribution in the national development programs, indicating that the progress they have already registered was possible through integrated effort they have been exerting. The members of the National Association expressed resolve to strengthen organizational capacity and their attachment with their homeland. Explaining the strong contribution of the association in the armed struggle for independence and safeguarding the national sovereignty, Ambassador Isa Ahmed Isa called for strengthening unity and contribution in the implementation of the national development drives. Ambassador Isa also expressed readiness of the embassy to stand alongside the National Association in all their endeavors. Meeting to identify and address challenges that have been encountered in the teaching and learning process was conducted on 8th September in Ad-Dukhala subzone, indicating that in the last year academic year of 85.2% students from elementary school, 71.5% from junior, and 70.5% from high school have passed to the next level. Mr. Tasfai Sabhatu, head of the education office in the subzone, called on parents and students and school communities to strengthen participation in the effort to develop the teaching and learning process. Pointing out on the significant role of teachers and parents in the development of teaching and learning process, Mr. Haptezgi Kidane, head of the Ministry of Educational branch in the southern region, expressed on the importance of identifying challenges and addressing them. Mr. Andamaskal Andhanom, administrator of Ad-Dukhala subzone, called on the area administrators to reinforce participation in that effort. In Ad-Dukhala subzone, there are about 41 educational facilities ranging from kindergarten to high school, providing a regular educational service. Residents of Liban Administrative Area Loga Ansaba subzone and members of the Defense Force stationed in the area are conducting popular campaign to readdress the environment as your final domestic. Mr. Tasfai Kaseta, administrator of the administrative area, indicated that the residents and members of the Defense Force stated that the popular campaign in mid-April, includes construction of terraces and water diversion schemes with a view to boost agricultural production. The residents on their part expressed readiness to strengthen participation in that effort to readdress the environment and boost agricultural production. Liban Administrative Area is one of the 13 administrative areas in Logo Ansaba subzone and is located 44 kilometers west of the capital, Asmara. We'll be back with your global news after this short break. Do stay with us for more. And on your reports on the international line, Iran and the UN's nuclear agency reached an agreement on Sunday and said talks will continue later this month. Tehran, Iran, the head of the United Nations nuclear watchdog, and Iran's nuclear chief have reached an agreement that will prevent another crisis looming over the prospect of restoring Iran's 2015 nuclear deal. Rafael Grossi, Director General of the International Atomic Energy Agency, landed in Tehran late on Saturday and met Mohammad Islami, the newly appointed head of the Atomic Energy Organization of Iran, on Sunday morning. It was Grosse's first trip to Tehran during the new administration of President Ibrahim Raisi, who appointed Islami as the new nuclear chief on 29th August. Both sides called the meeting constructive and agreed they will continue discussions on the sidelines of the agency's general conference in Vienna later this month. They also agreed that Grossi would travel to Tehran again soon to replace the agency's monitoring cameras' memory cards, which will still be kept in Iran, in line with a law passed by the hardline Iranian parliament in December. Iran has since February said it will not hand over the tapes to the agency after an agreement is reached in Vienna that will leave unilateral United States sanctioned. Islami said following that the meeting, what matters to them and the agency also is emphasizing upon is to build trust. On your final report, a drone attack hit near U.S. forces stationed at Erbil International Airport in northern Iraq on Saturday, Iraqi Kurdish security officers reported. The International Security Service for Iraq's autonomous Kurdish region of each Erbil, which Erbil is the capital, initially said 3 rockets had hit near the airport. A second statement by the Kurdish counter-terrorism forces said that the attack had been carried out by explosives-laden drones. There were no immediate reports of casualties, however. Witnesses said that they heard at least 6 explosions in the area. The airport in Erbil, the capital of the autonomous Kurdish region, has come under attack several times in the past year, including by drones carrying explosives. U.S. officials blame previous attacks on Iran-allied Shiite Muslim militants, which have vowed to fight until the remaining 2,500 U.S. military personnel leave the country. That is all for now with your domestic and international news in brief. Until we're back with some more news, stay and enjoy the rest of our programs. But until then, these are your major headlines in review. Resolve to reinforce contribution in the development programs as your primary domestic. Efforts to strengthen teaching and learning process and popular development programs. The AIE and Iran reach an agreement to avert nuclear deal crisis. And finally, drone attack hits near U.S. forces stationed at Erbil Airport in northern Iraq. And that is all for now. Thanks for watching. Have a nice one.